I ain't born back.
Oh man. Cody, what do you think? Tubeless, should I just run the front? Probably change it. We're gonna take it back.
It's like one of them, like you think about the whole lap. I'm gonna freaking said don't use the ice.
I gotta do it. Thank you.
Well, I was thinking about hiring.
Yeah, but always kind of easy. I never remember how to do that. But maybe yeah, but we're not mad.
Yeah, but it makes you scared. Isn't that like what I've heard?
See what?
Bring it back, the next person goes. If there's no one after you, they don't get to qualify. So let's line up. Yeah!
I'm not in it anyways.
You want to get it so I can start doing this other thing?
Right here. Damn hour to it. No, I ain't born back. No, that's not me.
Damn electrified. I went on there trying to do a wheelie, and I could tell that I was just all American made, two-stroke built. Thing just went wide open on me and looped me out. So no more electric. They're following me, man. Ever since Biden been put in office, they got the tracking on me. I can't do nothing anywhere. You know, first they were just monitoring me on Instagrams and the TikTok.
Daddy let you do? Only on Thursdays. I'll talk to you later then.
I don't check out.
10 seconds.
Is this where the damn drumming and the music kicks in?
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to
on the Pipe podcast presented by Yamaha Motor Corporation. That is right. Today is July. Today is July the 2nd, 2025 years after zero. We are just a day, 2 days, 1 day, the day after Yamaha's birthday. We celebrated Yamaha yesterday, so I hope you had a amazing day for the celebration of the anniversary and the birthday of Yamaha Motor Corporation. Can't thank them enough for being a part of OTP, working on a pit bike track in the backyard. All right, we got our hands on a TTR 110, and we're getting it dialed in. Maybe we'll do some OTP guest lap time attacks and keep a leaderboard once we get the backyard track dialed in. But nevertheless, today is an amazing day. It is a very special episode of OTP Tuesday on a Wednesday. That's right. We bumped it because we're going to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy setting the world on fire over the past, I guess it's been 10 days now. Josh Toth went out and he won the Snowshoe GNCC overall from XC2 starting on the second row. And then 6 days later, raced Southwick Pro Motocross to a 25th place overall finish. And then the very next day, drove through the night, had 18 hours till National Enduro start time. It was a 12-hour drive to get there. Slept in the back of the van, drove the van over there, and not only did he show up and race the National Enduro, he won the National Enduro as well. So it's a crazy week, an insane week for Josh Toth, sticking himself right in the middle of that most well-rounded discussion. We're going to talk to him here in a minute. This whole Southwick thing, the call-out, it happened on the Pipe podcast, so I felt like it was only fitting to bring Josh Toth back on. He was here when he did it before, but this time we're going to get him on video. The guy's a tired man. There's a lot that happened in the past 10 days. So Josh Toth is going to join us here in a minute, but joining us right now as I lean over to turn the camera on for our good buddy and friend of the program, none other than Big Rig Craig. Craig, what's going on, dude?
Just hanging out.
Your camera didn't come on. Oh, there you are. There's Craig.
I promise I wasn't going blackface. I wouldn't do that.
How's it going? You raced the National Enduro too, right?
Yeah, I was there. Hometown hero.
Oh yeah, that's like all up in the local for you.
Couldn't be any more local.
How far? So from where you grew up at to where the race was, how far?
Probably 13 minutes from my old house.
Oh,
so it's Jackson County Fairgrounds is where the Enduro or the National Enduro and everything was set up, and I'm in Jackson, Ohio. The fairgrounds is in Wellston, same thing.
I'm going to Jackson.
Yep, so local.
Was Nick Rupert and Miss Nicole Rupert there?
Yeah, they were. They weren't racing. They were just kind of hanging out. I think they raced fast tracks on Saturday.
Ah.
They have a big 4th of July thing this weekend, or last weekend, I guess. Yeah, and I wrecked right in front of them immediately. First turn of the first test. So pretty solid. They loved it.
That's the way to do it. Did anybody get it on camera?
No.
Lame.
Big breath. No one got it on video.
Did Nick bring any Rumpke dumpsters out to the race for everybody to enjoy?
I don't know. I didn't see any. I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot. I seen him a little bit right when I signed up. And then, so the first test was at my buddy Dakota Tanner's house, like a mile from the first. You do a transfer from the fairgrounds to the first test. It was in his front yard. Or his backyard, I guess. Takes off straight into the woods. So they're all on the back porch watching.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Don't get more local than that.
No, it's as local as possible. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Will deliver to Southeast Ohio.
For money.
For money.
For money.
Or the little raccoon.
Yeah, I got the shirt on here too.
Enduro.
Yeah. Got the rep in the purple.
Is that a National Enduro shirt, or did the club do that?
I think the clubs always do the shirts.
Oh.
I think so.
I don't know if I'm familiar with seeing National Enduro shirts.
Well, it's kind of fitting because we went to Louisiana, and I got the teal shirt, the Louisiana race that never happened, and it's Josh flexing on the back of it. And then I go to Missouri, and I didn't buy a shirt, and then I get the Lou Raccoon shirt, and it's Josh on the back of it again. So, big fanboy, I guess.
Damn. Toth, big T-shirt guy.
Big T-shirt guy.
Well, hey, man, let's get into it. Let's dig up some results real quick. We are supposed to call Josh Toth in 4 minutes, and so we're going to have to breeze through some results real quick before we get him on the line and chat with him, see how the weekend went for Mr. Toth like both pulling double duty, racing pro motocross, and then going over and racing national enduro. So we're going to start things with our friends out on the West Coast. The AMA West Hare Scramble Championship came to a conclusion already. So that's 2 series now. U.S. Sprint Enduro wrapped up last week or the week before when we talked to Liam Draper winning that championship. And now AMA West has wrapped up as well. So we're going to dig up these results courtesy of DPG, Dimmer's Precision Grading. You can go to dimmersprecisiongrading.com. Find out more information for them. They are the Carolinas' premier grading specialist, grading, demolition, land clearing, anything you want done. Hit up Brandon Dimmer, Dimmer's Precision Grading. Also, at the DPG compound, which is a motocross facility located in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. This Friday, they're having a 4th of July ride day. So if you want to get out and ride your motorcycle, you can go to a top-notch facility out there, the DPG compound. Let them know you listen to OTP, and we'll strong arm into doing something. I don't know. Maybe I should have talked about this beforehand. We'll talk with them. Maybe you'll get something special if you let them know you listen to OTP. But a proud sponsor of OTP is DPG, and you can go ride with DPG and OTP this Friday for July 4th. Yeah, check them out.
I like how you did that.
they had a full gas there a couple weeks ago. They're going to have a full gas there in a couple weeks. The full gas loop, from my understanding, is still open, so they will have a woods loop. They will have the full gas GP loop and the motocross track and a pit bike track. So
yeah.
Cool
Some
property.
Of my favorite woods local, for sure.
I was just about to say, you're familiar. You've ridden over there quite a bit.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So open ride day, this 4th of July, Friday.
Yep.
7:04 day.
Support the friends.
For those keeping track at home. So head on out, DPG compound. Might be there riding with Big Rig Craig and old T-Shep. Maybe.
We'll
figure it
My
out.
bike's tore down to the frame.
Oh.
So
mine's ready and raring to go.
Yeah.
Let's check in with the AMA East. The Great Escape, just like Gwen Stefani said. I think that was her that sang that, right?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Woo! I'm pretty sure.
I know. Yeah, I
Gwen
don't.
Stefani and Akon.
Yeah, I'm out.
I saw an Akon concert in Atlanta one time. One of the best concerts I've been to. I was in the minority.
What are you trying to say?
You don't realize how many songs Akon has been in or been a part of over the last, 15 years.
He doesn't. It's like he just fell off the face of the earth too. I haven't heard anything newer with Akon in it.
I guess he's needing some money because he started a tour.
Yeah, 2009 and 10 went hard though, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Getting
and that's I don't mean to get that off topic, but he would just sing his verse or the hook that he did for the song, and then that was it. So, dude, he must have played 100 songs, and everyone the words of pretty much every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of insane how many songs he's been a part of.
Yeah.
And then he FaceTimed T-Pain afterwards. So pretty much FaceTimed T-Pain and hung out with him in Atlanta.
Buddies.
Anyway, I digress. Taking the win out at the Great Escape AMA West Hare Scramble was Jaden Donners on a KTM, getting it done. Taking the win, beating out Mateo Oliveira, but although Jaden Donners won the battle, Mateo Oliveira won the war. He became the 2025 AMA West Hare Scramble champion. So shout out Mateo getting it done in the overall. Jaden Donners, though, on that 250, taking the overall win and the Pro 250 class win. It's like they've been watching too much GNCC out there on the West Coast. Had to get their 250 boys out in front. And that is exactly what they did. Leighton Smale in the number 3 spot, second place in Pro 250. He was hauling the Smale out there, boy. I tell you what, on that Kawasaki. He was out here on the East Coast for a little bit. Got to talk to him a little bit. Good fellow. Nice boy. Ryder Tomaselli would finish 3rd place in the Pro 250 class and 4th place overall. Ryder Tomaselli would also wrap up the Pro 250 AMA West Hare Scramble Championship. Right?
Yep.
That's what we said?
Yeah. That is correct.
Yes. He is the 2025 champion. Shout out Ryder Tomaselli getting it done on the Husky, taking home the championship. And for the number 2 spot, it was the Beta Factory racer of Zane, Robert Zano, getting it done. 2nd place in the pro class. And I don't even see, do we see a 3rd? Is there a 3rd? Here we go. Ethan Pasic. Has to be one of those three.
Yeah.
Either way, he was third on the day, 20th overall.
A couple spots behind the top finishing Yamaha of Victor Smith. Shout out.
Shout out. The amazing day for Victor Smith, top finishing Yamaha.
How about these goofy-ass numbers they got?
I was about to say, Victor Smith is not a member of the AMA, apparently.
Shout out Joshua Wall.
Don't snitch on him.
Josh Wall with the Open A win. Buddy.
Josh Wall.
NT284. I don't know what the hell that means, but
That's
goofy-ass
that
number.
fella you said you knew?
Yeah.
Why is he yelling at us?
Huh?
Why is he yelling at us?
What am I missing here? What are you
He's the
yelling?
only name in all caps, and I'm just trying to figure out why he's yelling.
Yeah, he's a quiet guy. He don't mean it.
Oh. Maybe he had to go all caps to get the dominance across.
Lost me on that one.
He was just the only one that was all caps. We'll check in with our women's pro class. Ava Silvestri doing what Ava Silvestri does. She goes out there and takes another win on the day. Did she have a championship?
No, Rachel Stout actually.
Rachel Stout. Duh. Everybody knew that. I
RPM
was quizzing you.
KTM getting it done, brother.
Look at Craig paying attention. I was just making sure you were on your P's and Q's. Ashley Gage in the number 2 spot. Rachel Stout riding to a third-place finish because all she got to do is get there, maintain, and wrap up the championship. Your 2025 AMA West champion, Rachel Stout, with a stout performance on the weekend. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson. Man, he'll race the Indy 500, the Coca-Cola 600, and the Great Escape.
The Knot 989, Kyle Larson. Thad Duvall. Brianna Wall, that's Josh's sister.
Dude, I'd be
Homies.
leaning into that if my name was Kyle Larson. Angel on a beta. Oh, we're in women. Sorry. I am so sorry, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson. Oh, wait.
That's Sportsman.
No, Sportsman.
Dude. So
okay.
this is C and, hey, so since this isn't, since
on
we're
a loose program over here.
Since we're proud Yamaha supporters,
Blue
now and always have been.
That's always read my heart.
Can I start saying the Master Beta, like how I've been saying the, where's Jufro?
That would have been a good segment.
Well, I always wanted to say something, but back in the day, couldn't.
I mean, if they're
now I can.
If they're masters at what they do,
I can say Yamaha ass. You and me are hauling ass.
Yep, that's what it stands for. Unless it's in a mirror, then it's aha me, and I haven't figured out what that means yet.
Yeah, I don't want to do that one. Sounds like somebody having a seizure.
Dang, missed opportunities. Oh well, our heart is revved beyond content now. We're gonna head over to the MidEast Hare Scramble series because we are talking about Akon and getting off task. And I got a text message from Josh Toth, probably wondering what in the world that we're doing. It was a good race this past weekend. It was a brand new track at the MidEast Hare Scramble series in Kitterell, North Carolina. That's just above Durham, North Carolina. We got an influx of Virginia riders. So it's out there. It's up near the Virginia border, but it's also farther east than what MidEast typically goes. So it's a brand new facility, the Lynch Creek Whitetail Farm. They breed whitetail trophy deer and sell them, I guess, like high fence farms to do hunts and stuff. Dude, there were some crazy deer. They were all in velvet. They were all huge. There was a bunch of albino ones. And then there was a stray cat that came walking all nimbly-bimbly out of the woods. That cat is now in the bathroom across the hall from us right now. It's a pretty cool cat. But anyway, it was an awesome place. They had some fishing ponds. They had a big old swimming pond with a big dock you can jump off of. Seemed to be the hit of the town. I was sick as a dog, dude. Woke up Friday just sick beyond belief.
Brother, same.
Got worse on Saturday.
I got sick as shit this weekend.
Got
right before the
worse
race.
on Sunday. Oh, yeah, you had a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was random.
Dude. I had a cold. I had the hot sweats. I was in 100-degree heat all day, both days.
But you're an operator, so it doesn't matter.
I had to
You
go
made it
out.
happen.
I had to be an operator, jump on the Kubota. That was miserable this weekend. But there was some good racing, so that made it a little bit better. Brody Johnson went out and took the win. Gavin Simon kept him honest, though. Gavin led the first couple of laps. When they came into the pit, Brody got by him, and then Brody kind of took off from there. Jonathan Johnson was riding around in the number 3 spot before he blew a hole in his stator cover and had to forfeit the race. Not forfeit, but maybe retire from the race would be a good way to put it. But then Ethan Harwell, who we've talked about a bunch on the program, he was right there, was able to capitalize on Jonathan pulling out of the race. Ethan Harwell would make it to the finish line, 3rd place overall, and I start to announce it on the speaker, or yeah, you know what I mean, announce it on the microphone, and everyone's telling me, watch the time, watch the time, watch the time. As soon as I can see that, I look over, Colby Goodman on the 151 Yamaha comes flying around the corner and like racing into the finish line off by himself. Colby Goodman, I believe, is 14 years old, dude. He's like 14 or 15 years old. Maybe he's 15. Either way, he's young. He could still be on mini bikes. I do feel confident saying he probably could still be on mini bikes. I think he's under 15. He's gotten a couple of top fives this year. He's been riding really good. It came down to 5 seconds for Colby Goodman to miss the pro overall podium this past weekend at MidEast.
Yeah, that'd have been sick.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
This is Ethan Harwell's second pro overall podium, which is also really cool for Ethan.
Top finishing Yamaha with Colby. Shout out.
Yeah. But, yeah, Colby Goodman was on it, dude. Rode a really good race. Yeah. And he's a cool kid, too. But, like, dude, he's fast. Like, he's getting fast. He moved up, and he's taking advantage of it.
Does he just race MidEast? Does he also run some GNCCs, or what's he do?
I think he races some GNCCs. I think he might race all of them. I want to say he races 150A. I don't know.
I would hope, because he's running A-class in MidEast.
Yeah. Definitely an A-class. But I'm pretty sure he's on a YZ125, so I would think he'd be in 200A.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check. Either way, he's fast. Robbie Norwood and the boys all came out in full effect. We mentioned some Virginia riders. Robbie, a former VCHSSSRQS P2 squared champion of his own right. It was his first MidEast race, which I find that hard to believe. Did Robbie win a North Carolina championship too?
Yeah, I think he has.
I think he has too. But he comes out 5th place overall, AA elite class. But that was cool. Josh Koscheck came out and raced with us. Colonel Jody Lynch came out and raced. Bill O'Brien, Marine sniper, he came out and raced the morning race on the front row. He ended up on the overall podium on the last lap, made his way to the 3rd overall, and he didn't know it. So we were looking for him to do the podium. He was nowhere to be found. I was like, hey, can someone call him and get him back here? Like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. So it's cool of OB to be able to get up there on the podium at the MidEast Hare Scramble. Pump for him. And all the boys. Wes, I think, was out there racing. The whole MidEast Assassins crew was out in full effect.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me, the second generation full gas assassin crew with Koscheck and all the Marines and Special Force guys. They were out there. Always good to see them. And then National Enduro. We'll breeze through this real quick, and then we'll get Josh Toth on the phone. For the second round in 3 National Enduro rounds, the Rocky Mountain Red Bear racing team, Kawasaki team, swept the overall podium, won the Pro 2 class, won the WXC class, or Women's Elite class, and did it in dominating fashion. What a day, what a story, what a team. Obviously, going to be a little bit biased towards them, but anyone, whether you love Stu, hate Stu, love Toth, hate Toth, any of those guys, whether you love them or hate them, you cannot deny how impressive it is what they are doing with that team. 5 pro riders, all taking home hardware for the second out of 3 rounds, and then second straight week of sweeping every pro class win. So at Snowshoe, they won XC1, XC2, WXC, and then they come back here, top 3 overall, Pro 2 win, Women's Elite win.
And it's great to see, too, because before 2018, Kawasaki wasn't even – they had no, supported GNCCs or National Enduros.
Yep.
Like, I don't remember what year it was. Maybe 2010 was when I remember them kind of cutting a Woods team from GNCCs. Maybe 11, 12, something like that.
Something like that. And then Josh Strang and Jordan Ashburn brought it back.
Yeah, but them coming back from Babbitt's Off-Road coming back, and I think it was 2018 was the first year, and then Strang got on with 2019. But I just kind of like seeing the brands come back.
The first year.
19 was the first year because he had the electric start bike. The first year was like the year that Jason Thomas rode the 250F. No, that would have been 2019 because the 2019 250Fs were kickstart. So yeah, I'm a little backwards. It was 2019. That was the first
Jason
year for that new bike.
Having anything to do with that team.
He rode one. He was supposed to run Vet A on it, get the Vet A championship, and then he tore his knee at a MidEast. He tried to run XC2, and he rode it for like 3 races. That was it. Because I had to transport the van with his bikes back to a GNCC.
I don't remember that. But now that you say that, I do remember. I think he had one of the Babbitt's vans parked at his apartment.
Yeah, because that was his van because he had the bikes.
Yeah.
Because they originally tried to get who is I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Works with MidEast.
Buren.
Ricky Terry's son.
Lucas.
Robbie. Lucas, they initially went up to him trying to get him to ride the Cowie in like Vet A and GNCC from what I was told.
Oh, really?
And he didn't want to do it because he didn't. They were kickstart, I think, the first year for 250Fs. And he's like, I don't want to.
Old Lucas about that.
That's what I was always told. I never heard that from Lucas, but I heard it from friends. And he's like, I don't want to do it. And so Jason Thompson said, I'll do it. And then they lifted the XC2 rule because he was over the age. They changed it back. He goes, all right, fuck it, I'm going to XC2. So no Vet A.
Huh.
I'm gonna have moral of the story. Walking around in circles. I like seeing Kawasaki's back out there. I always like Cowies. I raced a KX100. So I just like the brands coming back. I like the comeback story of it. So.
And, dude, I try not to be a homer, but like I said, regardless of how you feel about Stu or comments he makes or whatever, like, what he's doing, you can't say is not impressive. Like, running a team while actively riding, owning the team, buying a series, like, while still in the active part of his career. He's tied for the National Enduro points now with Toth, sitting second in XC1 points, all while maintaining a team with 5 pro riders and 38 amateur riders.
Oh, yeah.
It's not actually 38, but it's close.
There's a shit ton.
It's crazy. And especially, like, results like this, like days like this, and what is that, 4 GNCC overalls now this year? 2 with Stu, 1 with Toth. DeFeo coming out winning by 3.5 minutes to open the season up in Big Buck.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty impressive. But Josh Toth takes the win nonetheless. He and Stu share or split test wins throughout the day, each with 3 apiece. Stu Baylor would fall short of the number 1 spot, though, in the number 2 spot. He lost a lot of time. I believe it was in section 3 where he missed a lot of time at. Grant Baylor, who's still coming back from that injury, he rode a good race into the number 3 spot, just barely edging out Ricky Russell, who would end up in the 4 spot. And by just barely, I mean by a minute, but seemed more dramatic in the moment. Looking down at the Pro 2 class, Nicholas DeFeo would take another Pro 2 win on the season. Jack Walker would take a 2nd place on the season, hopefully with a full-size throttle tube this time. Snowshoe wasn't as lucky. And then Will Sievenpiper, who was also on a Cowie, who was part of that amateur program with the Red Bear team last year, would end on the Pro 2 podium with a 3rd place finish. Lane Whitmer, shout out, top amateur AA rider on the day. And then James Jenkins, one of the twins, dude, also on a Cowie. He's on a Yamaha at GNCCs. He's on a Cowie at the National Enduros. He was the top full amateur rider, I guess you could say, 250A class winner. Braden Baisley, 2nd 250A, dude. That's a good ride by old Braden Baisley.
Yeah, Huck Jenkins was supposed to be on my row, but I guess since he's hurt, he signed up before he got hurt, I reckon.
Oh, dang.
Almost.
Yeah. I guess when you guys signed up last November for this race, there's a lot that can happen between then and now.
Yeah, dude, there was a time we signed up for like 5 races and raced 1 of them, and I was like, son of a bitch, dude, I'm bored. Come on.
Down in the women's elite class, Rachel Archer took the win and extended her points lead there in the women's elite. Rachel Goodish on the Riehu would ride her way to 2nd place, and then Shelby Turner 3rd place overall for the women's elite riders up in Ohio. Craig, we're going to hear more about the National Enduro from you and from our next guest. We'll go ahead and get him dialed in, and while we do that, we'll double check with our comments here as we get Toth on the line. Courtesy of Zach Tussle with Raymond James Financial. Zach Tussle was one of the first people to text me and said, got to get Toth on the show this week. Got to hear about what he did. Zach Tussle is also a financial advisor with Raymond James Financial, who helps his clients win when it comes to retirement and financial planning. He's a racer just like us. As I mentioned, he was fully involved in the weekend that was for Josh Toth, and he can help you save for the future and manage your money. Go to TussleInvestments.com. That is 1 L in Tussle, Tussel, investments.com. And, he can get you hooked up, get you dialed in, and ready to go. We're going to check back with the comments here in just a moment, because right now, joining us live on the program via FaceTime, he is the man of the hour. He is an XC2 champion. He is the top finishing American at last year's ISDE. He probably knows what button to click on the computer because he's not Craig. Now we got him dialed in. But he is also the winner of the last 2 professional events and the top 25 rider at the Southwick Pro National this past weekend. Josh Toth, like both. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Just getting a phone plugged in here, but sitting still finally and enjoying some rest.
Dude, I bet. If you can get it plugged in, turn your phone sideways, maybe, if that'll work. We'll get you dialed in there. But dude, what an insane weekend, like you said, catching up to rest. I can't imagine what all the body went through in the past 10 days. I know you've done a lot of driving, I know you've done a lot of traveling, but I guess we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to ask about. But on the whole, what's the overall thought from the weekend, or from the past week rather, now that it's done?
I'm pretty stoked on it. Honestly, I haven't had even a moment, like just getting into resting and thinking about it, and just it's settling in. But overall, yeah, just pretty surreal to win the GNCC and then the National Enduro as well. But still, for some reason, just it bothers me a little bit that I didn't score a point at Southwick. But overall, just epic week.
Dude, it is a big week. And I know that was the goal, top 20, score a point, you know what I mean? But I guess it doesn't help things when you get ran over at the first start of the first moto either.
Yeah, I honestly have to watch like a drone or overhead shot from that, because it was kind of chaos. Like, it was probably a combination of nerves and then just getting cut off there and just hitting like the bank in the first turn and going down. But I don't know if I got hit or I saw like the pileup start to happen and then I got just roosted, so I couldn't see anything, and I kind of just like hit that bank and went down. But yeah, I got to see a different angle.
Dude, from the front on shot, when you go down, it looks like someone just plowed right into the back of you. But I'm sure at that point, dude, adrenaline's got to be flowing.
Yeah, no, I don't think I got hit. That's what I was kind of worried about, just tucked down. But like I said, right in front of me, I could see the carnage start to happen, and then just sand get thrown up and cover my face. So I was just like going in blind anyway. So
jeez,
I don't know what happened.
Well, man, we got some questions about Southwick. We got some questions about Sunday, but let's start back at the Snowshoe GNCC. We had you on a few weeks ago, and it's kind of when we were laying out the plans of this whole Southwick thing. The boss, obviously, chickened out. He wasn't there. Decided to sit it out, but showed up on Sunday. But let's start back at Snowshoe, man. You started from the second row. The only other time I could think of was Florida in 22, when it looked like a war zone, when everyone finished the race, everyone's falling out, laying on the ground, getting soaked with water hoses. And then Snowshoe, as far as like the most depleted I have ever seen an overall winner after a race, dude. You came through, head was down, you're like dry heaving, ended up going up to see Dr. Tanner there shortly after. But I mean, walk us through the finishing moments, and I guess that last lap. I mean, you guys swapped back and forth going in and out of the pits, and like I said, it looks like you gave every single thing that you had out there to take that win up at Snowshoe.
Yeah, that one was just so cold with the heat and the humidity out there, and honestly, like I've said it in the podium interview and other places too, but I kind of, like, I was riding well from the get-go, but then we hit that gnarly section and I just got hung up and blew up there, and heart rate was maxed out, so I kind of just went into like manage mode and just trail ride. And I think everyone else kind of got past that point, like taking the go around, and was able to push a bit longer before they kind of like blew up and got tired. So I was already like kind of ahead of the curve, and I think that's what helped me going into the second half. But yeah, the Battle of Stu was sick. I knew he was coming, and I was kind of tanking, to be honest, but I wasn't gonna let him get me after talking all that crap.
That's what I mean. Was that going through your head at all? Because where you guys, when you come up the PowerPoint hill and go into the pits, I was standing right there filming. And so basically right when you guys went down, just out of shot, is when Stu tried to whip a rock and ended up going down, and you got by him. But that whole battle back and forth running through there, like, because then as soon as you came through the pro pit, Stu was back out in front. at that point, like, did the physical lead mean anything to you, or were you just kind of thinking, hey, if I keep him in sight, I got him covered?
Yeah, I knew being like the start order with him being ahead of me, I just had to ride behind him in. So I knew that. That's all I really had to do. But
Is that him calling you right now? He's fed up.
No, but I'll decline it. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Sorry.
My bad. Threw us off.
Was that you getting invited to a motocross birthday party Saturday?
No. What's that one? I haven't heard that yet.
Top Gun
Top Gun.
for Aunt Tomasetti.
Oh, sweet. No, that's my old man calling. He'll figure it out later.
Yeah, get Mike on.
Big Mike. I
Nice.
wish we could three-way him in, hear what Big Mike has to say about
Oh,
this
dude, that'd be
run.
a storm. I'd love it.
Dude, I bet he's got to be. How stoked is your dad about this past week?
He's got to be fired up. Sure, see it on Facebook or something, but
Yeah, big Facebook guy. But yeah, so where was I going? So technically, your second XC1 or overall win and second one from the XC2 class. Did this one feel a little bit better? I mean, I got to ask you, between Georgia becoming the first ever XC2 rider to win an overall from the second row, and then this one getting it done on Snowshoe Mountain. And like I said, Stu is a buddy. He's a competitor, and he's also the boss and the owner of the team that you're on. And there was all that back and forth between you guys. So I guess from emotion standpoints, looking back at it from the GNCC wins, which one was sweeter for you?
I gotta say Georgia, maybe.
I think your screen's still froze. I don't know if there's still a call coming through.
Not sure what's going on. How do I fix that? It's got paused on there.
You want to retry it? Retry the
I don't
call?
know. Yeah, we can try to call you right back.
All right.
Sorry. 1 second. The line. We're gonna courtesy of Zach Toth. Oh, we're gonna get him back on the phone. And Craig, if you want to go, I think that YouTube video is playing in the background on there.
Shouldn't have had it on the live. Either way.
There we go.
And we're back. All right, we got you.
Yeah, so I think Georgia honestly was a little bit sweeter just being the first there, but yeah, to get the it was just like a big weight off my shoulders getting the snowshoe overall. I've been so close there like several times. I feel like I've had it a couple of years, and then I got second overall I think twice, so to finally get it done there, it's like I almost don't even care to go back now, to be honest.
Yeah, and to pick up where T-Shep was talking about, we seen you after you went down the PowerPoint hill, after you left Pro Pits. You were right behind Stu, and watched you again where you crossed right when you go down Westridge, and you guys both looked so sketchy. Like you could tell you were both dead, and we thought Stu almost tucked the front coming across the asphalt there. How was the ride from, I guess that's like the 12? The 12 to the 12 and a half is all fire roads, right? How was that last half a mile, other than just being tired, just I'm assuming so sketchy?
Yeah. Yeah, when you come back by the like the FMF hill there and grab the asphalt, just from there on out, I knew like obviously he's on the 450, so it was just flat out as fast as my bike could go, and then he pulled me on the street there, but then I just hung in a little bit, let off late, like backed it into the turn, and then we hit the slopes, and I was like trying to stay just behind his dust. And anyone that raced it knows like right before the finish there was a gnarly section like slope going downhill, like a bunch of water bars, and there was one rock that was like the size of a basketball just like turned over, which I can't believe no worker moved during the race. But yeah, I was just like looking out for that. I was like going in and out like blackout, but just clicking gears going downhill. It was wild. And yeah, I just knew I had to keep him in sight for the win. But fortunately, like I thought it was a full 10 seconds, but they said I only had 8 to work with, so fortunately I was able to win by just that 2 seconds there.
Yeah, and your condition coming over the line, I know there's a million people down there watching you come in, and you ran up and got an IV. Situations like that kind of make it crazy for me to think about how it's not a performance-enhancing drug by no means, but it's like if you guys didn't have IVs after the races to refuel, like that would be so fucked. Like you guys were in such bad shape, like it's just unreal to see something that's not a performance-enhancing drug and how that pretty much just saves your guy's life after a race.
Banned. Can't have it.
Yeah, like fortunately Dr. Tanner's there now, like safety on site, and we have them there like in emergencies to have them after the race. But I've been at races like Tanner fortunately was there like a few years ago. I had a gnarly heat stroke in Florida and crashed and just was so out of it. And the local paramedics and stuff were just complete assholes, to be honest. They're just like, unless you get in the ambulance and go pay the bill and go to the hospital, and they just won't give you fluids or treat you. So yeah, I've dealt with that at multiple different events, and had to deal with like heat exhaustion, and yeah, try to figure it out and get somewhere after the race, and have to deal with like I paid the ambulance ride and had to do that too. So just to have Dr. Tanner there, and it truly is a lifesaver.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention like those moments where like Ricky when his handlebar slices damn artery open in his leg, like those situations get out of hand quick. And like you said, most of the time at the races, the paramedics aren't sending their valedictorians out to the racetrack on a Sunday. So it is cool to have him out there and being around.
Yeah, no, super grateful for him. Yeah, no, I've been around the races enough, and like been around a lot of gnarly situations or injuries, and seeing how like the local EMTs and paramedics deal with it. And I mean, not to talk crap on them, like, because I know a lot of them are there and mean well and doing their best, but more often than not, you go to a race and like the first responders, the person there like responsible to get to you, is so like physically incapable and like out of shape and has no like understanding of a race going on or the event, or they just take off crossing the track and get hit. Like that is frustrating, and I hope that changes, and Dr. Tanner is a good step in that direction.
Oh, dude, I 100% agree. Working on the backside with so many race series for all these years, like I've seen a lot of those and been a part of helping getting a lot of people out of the woods. And yeah, it's crazy because a lot of those situations, it is like minutes matter, especially depending on the level of injury. And when you got people that are unfamiliar with the sport, like you said, they're doing their best. Appreciate them being there, but sometimes we need a little bit more.
Well, the people they sent down to go get Johnny out of the woods.
Yeah,
it was like some people who I don't think they could walk out by themselves. Like they barely did.
Yeah,
and they had to be like there was like 8 of us dragging them up this hill, and it's like you guys got to be a little more situational awareness for where you're at.
Yeah,
for sure, and that's something I put a lot of thought into. It gets complicated with like going to all these different states and counties and whatever, but it would be great to have like a medic team that has the resources and like understanding and like skill and like capable to go to every race, and they're like the same people you see week in and week out. I mean, like Supercross motocross kind of has it with the Alpine Star guys, but I think that's the next step for off-road too. If we had like a moto medic thing that came to each race, and it was like the same crew of guys that dealt with you first and then brought you to a local first responder, I think that would be awesome.
Oh, dude, 100%. And kind of conversations like this when Stu was doing the show on a weekly basis is kind of what sparked the whole SOS and Dr. Tanner thing. So, like, it is a step in the right direction. But just like you said, to get a team that can kind of travel around that, I mean, being proficient on a bike or a quad or something is a big help as well. But then also just like understanding the sport, understanding the injuries, understanding the risks. I think that would be an awesome goal to work towards. But yeah, shout out Dr. Tanner, SOS. But if you want to donate to him, he's doing it all on his own dime. So even cooler.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's sacrificing a lot, like leaving work and taking time off, and no, we all appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. But real quick, before we get too far past it, you mentioned Snowshoe coming down to the wire several times. The year that you guys were like 3 wide coming into the last mud hole, I believe it was the year that Ricky ended up getting the win. Were you in XC2 or XC1 that year?
I was in XC2 that year as well, but I think I started on the first row.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think back to that because I remember hearing the stories from you guys that night about basically coming up to a mud hole and everyone took a different line and Ricky just made it through and ended up getting the win. But I mean, you think about these overall wins and like first XC2 win that you did last year, that almost happened back in, what was that, 21, 22?
17, right?
Or no, 17. Yeah, even farther than that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's when Johnny was on the Suzuki.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it was super deja vu because like obviously Ricky was my teammate then and battling my teammate again for the win, just head to head right towards the finish. But yeah, stuck it out, got a little more wisdom and racecraft, I guess.
Dang. History repeats itself. I didn't even tie together that correlation, but yeah, super cool. But yeah, dude, getting the win on the mountain. Snowshoe is one of those ones like, yeah, it's going into summer break. Yeah, we get a couple months off from GNCC. Obviously, you've raced every weekend since then and even pulling double duty. But it's one of those like prestigious race, like everything that goes into Snowshoe, the party, the village, the concerts, the people, like that. That's one of those ones that I feel like is high on the list of ones that you want to win. Is that the same case for you?
Yeah, no, for sure. Just like you said, epic location, tons of people, spectators are wild, and you get a sick trophy at the end too. So that's what matters. Like Stu says, if there's a cool trophy, I'm after it, and yeah, I'm just going after all the cool collecting pieces now.
His knees aren't good enough to snowboard anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you gonna put that thing to use? We gonna see that going down Beach Mountain sometime soon, or what?
I might. I need to try to get back into it a little bit. Just I haven't gone in years, but ever since I did my tib fib, like the binding, the top of the snowboard boot is right at like that weak point. So
same.
It's kind of uncomfortable, but if I can figure out something else or a different boot or binding situation, yeah.
Snow bike.
Right now, the one wheel kind of gives me the fix.
There you go. I'll talk to you about it afterwards because I just snowboarded for the first time since my tib fib, but same thing. My snowboard boot is directly at the brake, like it is at the brake.
That's like just gives a big pressure point right on it. It's just uncomfortable.
No good. But they used to give out snowboards for XC1 and they gave out longboards, like snowshoe longboards for XC2. Why do we quit doing that? You should be asking for a snowboard and a longboard.
Did you get a longboard?
No, tell me about it. I'll take one.
No, that's cool. Congratulations on that win. That is actually, of all the tracks that we go to on the current GNCC circuit, Stu has won at every one of them but Snowshoe. So to edge him out, I mean, he was hungry for that thing charging and coming after you, and you got it done. So it's got to be an awesome feeling to battle down to the wire like that and come out in the middle.
Maybe next year, Stu.
But yeah, man, getting it going and then going to Southwick. Obviously, you're a New Englander, so it's kind of the local or the home pro motocross national, and you raced it before, I know, but I got to start it out just because we've been talking about this well-rounded rider, this all-around rider thing. We're going to ask you about it here in a minute, but just from a conditioning standpoint, physical standpoint, like fresh in your mind, you won Snowshoe, you went to Southwick, did 2 30-minute motos. What's the difference on your body from like the physical standpoint and holding up for a 3-hour race versus 2 30-minute motos?
Honestly, like I think you reach the same suffering. Obviously, I couldn't suffer any worse than I did at GNCC there at the end, but I think you kind of max out and reach that intensity much quicker at motocross, and you just stay there. Where off-road, you can kind of go up and down with it and like manage it, but you just don't really have the time in moto. And like at the end there, I was kind of riding it in at Southwick just because I was so smoked. But yeah, like I said, I think it's not it can't get any harder physically, but it's just like you reach that point that it's really hard, and you're just there quicker if you want to go fast anyway.
A lot more intensity.
A lot more intensity, yeah. And it's kind of like a sprint enduro, I guess, or enduro even, like where you're taking off and just going flat out. But yeah, I was definitely a little worn going into it, and I haven't been riding much motocross at all, so I don't have that intensity up. So I kind of lacked that going there, but like my endurance and stuff, like yeah, I feel like I could have kept riding, especially Moto 1. Moto 2 felt like a 2-hour race, man. That thing just kept going on. I didn't see the halfway signal. I don't think they gave it to me or what, but yeah, then finally the white flag was out.
Like, how are we not halfway yet?
I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. And I was like trying to run the numbers in my head. Like I was so spent out there, but I'm like, all right, maybe like a 220 lap time. How many laps? I'm gonna be out here. How many did I do?
That's what I was going to ask you. How did racing rocks correlate to your training for Southwick? Because I know you rode moto one day, right? You was it Monday? Because you rode in Morganton. And other than that, I don't know of you riding any moto. Maybe a Top Gun Wednesday, but just straight racing national enduros GNCC straight to an outdoor moto.
Yeah, no, not much prep at all, to be honest. Motocross, like I've just been pretty burnt from the GNCCs and enduros. Like haven't had the intensity. I've been riding the 450 here and there, but yeah, not much motocross at all. A couple days at Top Gun, and then a couple local spots for sand pits.
Yeah, Top Gun's pretty similar to Southwick.
Yeah, it's a little deeper.
Exactly. I did get the chance. I went over to Benix the week leading up to Snowshoe, and yeah, I really didn't ride any rocks going into Snowshoe. I just rode Benix that one day, and then yeah, that was my prep.
So from qualifying, you go in, you do your, I guess, I don't know exactly the format, but you practice, you do your qualifying, you get into the motos. What kind of changes did you have to make to the 450 since you haven't really been riding it? Like you said, you rode Benix, ride it here and there. I'm just going to assume you had like 8 hours on this 450, like the whole time.
Yeah.
What all changes did you have to do to the bike from like practice to qualifying, just trying to get it more comfy to see, other than like, I'm assuming clickers, stuff like that?
Yeah, I rode like Benix, like I said, and I haven't had a motocross setting. I just had the suspension laying in my garage from Florida GNCC that was off a 250, so it was sprung a little light, and that's what I've been riding. That's the stiffest stuff I had, so it was pretty good until like Benix, the track got just a little rough, and I was just blowing through the stroke immediately. So I told Napper at Enduro Engineering I needed a stiffer setup. He made a stiffer setup, brought it to Snowshoe, and I rode it one day and did what I could with the clickers, but it was way stiffer than what I had been running. And I think I did the right thing switching to it looking back, but not sure. Could have gone either way. Like 23 when I did it, Southwick was super like deep. It got really deep rollers, so you really needed like a stiff setup. This year with it being kind of wet, kind of got like hard small bumps. So I feel like I could have got away with a softer setup, but yeah, you don't know. The 450 was good. I definitely feel like more time on it could have helped like figure out some mapping and different things, just tuning. We brought some engine mounts, but didn't actually have any time to test them, so we just ran the stock ones.
Man, so hearing the testing that went into it, not all to be desired, or I guess there's some to still be desired, I guess I would say, going into it. But, man, I know you said your goal is to go out there and score points. Hearing the training program and hearing what you put into it before you went up there, to go qualify straight in, to get top 25, that's got to be an awesome feeling. But, like, just from your standpoint, like, knowing these guys, riding with these guys, obviously riding at the Bennett compound and the guys that go out there, like, if you dedicated your time, like, hey, I'm a motocross guy, I'm racing the full outdoor moto season, I'm getting a bike set up, I'm testing more than one setup of suspension for more than one day before I go out there on it. Like, if you put everything into it, like racing against those guys, realistically, where do you think you would be, like, in the pack full time?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, to be totally honest, Southwick is definitely my best round, would be. Not so jumpy and just kind of a beatdown. So I think overall that's my best chance at doing well. But yeah, I think if I really, really cracked down and went straight all into moto, I don't see why I couldn't crack into like top 15, maybe top end of the top 10 there at Southwick. But as far as all the other tracks, like, I wouldn't even claim that or say, just because yeah, I haven't ridden them and there's a lot more jumps and a lot more to learn. So yeah, I think I'd be stoked with the 25th at any other round, to be honest. Like, that'd be sick. But Southwick, just personally, I know I can do better. Just a beat down, and I know I can ride a bike well. So
What do you think about showing up to a muddy Ironman? Like a couple years ago, they had an absolute mud fest. This year, I don't know exactly what the dates are, but I know we're on a pretty big break for GNCCs, obviously. If you see in the forecast, there is a absolute bomb run fucking mud hole coming to Ironman. Can we go jump in the van and head straight up? What do you think?
let's do it, man. I'll go for the overall.
Now see, that's what we were talking about, most well-rounded rider stuff. Everyone's talking about, well, outdoor moto, if it's a mudder, and all the conversations we had about Supercross. And if there was GNCC guys out here right now, they wouldn't be having all these issues. It would be sick to see, that wouldn't be necessarily out of your realm because you've rode Ironman quite a few times. You've rode it muddy. You ride some of the moto track. I mean, other than especially if it's muddy enough not to jump the big uphill triple.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Which
if the mud got deep enough, then the jumps kind of get taken out of it to an extent.
But you hit everything at Ironman whenever you did the media stuff too, right? A couple years ago. Like you're pretty familiar with the motocross track there, fairly.
Yeah, I have ridden sections of it, and I've hit like all the big jumps actually there. But yeah, racing them and racing on those big jumps is another thing, I think, against the other guys. So that could be tough. But yeah, mutter at any of the rounds too. I think I could be well up there inside the top 10. But we'll see.
Yeah. Especially in California, Paula shows up with an absolute tsunami.
Yeah.
And Josh shows up on a KX 450. That'd be dope. Ain't no one out there ever seen a mud hole in their life.
Or dude, like when Muddy Creek was still on the schedule, or like you get one of these clay tracks and get some rain. Oh, dude, it'd be on.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be epic.
Yep. Start watching
like
the weather.
The Supercross too. Like, those are so gnarly when they're muddy. Like, it's hard to see on TV. Like, I give those guys a lot of credit, especially knowing the bikes they're on, how stiff they are. It's like almost impossible to get around. But I think, those guys also just don't ride that stuff a lot. So
that's why, like, we talk about the well-rounded and the mixing disciplines and who's better at what, and like every time the mud race, like that real bad mud race this year, it's like everyone's like, oh man, if Toth was out there, if Grant Davis was out there, if Stu was out there, like, oh, they'd wax him. Like watching it on TV, you can't help but to think that after seeing you guys do what you do at a GNCC, it would be sick to find an opportunity to put it to the test.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about Supercross. That's a whole nother level, but Daytona, honestly, that's on the list, bucket list.
Oh yeah.
If I could get a license and try to do that one, that'd be epic.
Is the Supercross license separate within the Pro Moto license? Like now that you've raced Southwick and stuff, like could you get into a Supercross, or is there more steps you got to go through?
I think it would definitely help that I have a pro motocross license, but yeah, I don't know what honestly, you might have to do like the road to Supercross.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like the Future series now.
See, but there's got to be a way around. Like when the MXGP dudes come over here, like people race one-off races, like they're not going through all that. They're getting straight in. But obviously that's more closer to the same discipline. But I mean, with you being an overall National Enduro champion, an overall Sprint Enduro champion, it seems like we could work something out.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put myself out there unless I was half ready and half ready and not like a hazard out there, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ride two days that week before you head out to a Supercross.
Yeah, they
Exactly.
cut you a favor letting you try, and you don't even get in the ballpark. It's like, fuck, he ain't never tried it again.
Yeah.
So MotoFro, who you gotta be familiar with MotoFro, the New England legend. He had a good question on here. He said, "Was there any point at the WIC where you thought about saving yourself for NEPG, or were you all in?" So you talked about that second moto, like, man, when is this thing gonna end? Didn't see the halfway mark, didn't see any of that, and like obviously knowing you're right outside the top 20. Was there a moment where you're like, damn, I gotta do this again tomorrow? Let me just cruise it on in, or were you full pull the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of wrote it in that second moto, and yeah, I was the first moto. Honestly, same thing. Kind of wrote it in there at the end. Just kind of thought the bike was slowing down a little bit, so we swapped a clutch and kind of had the same thing there in Moto 2 at the end. So was kind of managing it, but yeah, I was smoked too, and it was going through my head. Like I was looking ahead, there wasn't really anyone I was catching, and then there wasn't anyone catching me there at the end. So yeah, just try to catch a few breaths and save myself, but not much. Only 2 laps worth maybe.
Dude, that's a tough schedule, especially the timeline to get over to Ohio to do the National Enduro. But another guy, like I saw like the Racer X post about you and GNCC stuff, and I saw a little bit of stuff about Mike, but it really seemed like you stole a lot of the attention just coming off of that Snowshoe win. I think had a lot to do with it. But did you talk to Mike Wachowski much out there? Because, I mean, he rode a pretty good race too. I think he edged you out in qualifying by just a couple spots, but then you got him in the motos. But the 2 GNCC boys out there, did you get a chance to catch up with him at all and kind of get his thoughts on what his Southwick experience was like?
Yeah, I did talk to him there for a bit, and it was cool just having someone else out there that you kind of relate to, and we're both in the same boat, just taking it all in. But no, he rode really well, honestly, and he mentioned, like, I asked him if he was going to do more, what he thought of it, and he just said how stressful it was, and it definitely is. Like, qualifying, that whole process part of it, like, you're not even... It's just crazy going there, and you're not even guaranteed to race. It's not something we're used to as like an off-road guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I think he enjoyed it, but it also was just a lot. It's stressful. But yeah, he rode well. We battled for a little bit in Moto 1. Once I saw him, I ran him down to give me a little fire. Couldn't let another off-road guy be ahead of me.
Yeah. So what about so after the second moto, it's what was it? Is it a 12-hour drive to Jackson, to Wellston? So
yeah,
kind of walk us through. You get in, you pretty much throw all your stuff in. I don't know if you had interviews, if you had some things to tidy up before, probably see family. And then is it you, Banjo, Nicole, and was Grady with you?
Yeah.
Packed into the van and express shipped overnight.
Overnighted it for sure. It was mayhem. Like, just got a pressure washing, no shower, just sprayed off after the moto.
Hell yeah.
Cleaned off, piled everything in. You know, like bikes were hot, trying to work around that. And like you said, say bye to family, friends. I'm like, thinking of friends too. Chris Canning and John Adamy, Justin Coquinos, all those guys from New England. They like helped us out so much. Gave us a shop to work in like during the week to get ready. So shout out to all those guys. But just packed up, said our goodbyes, and try to get some sleep. The four of us, just in my Sprinter van, and the thing was loaded down for 3 different races. So
I'm so glad I did not go.
4 people.
See, whenever you were supposed to fly back, you had mentioned, I guess me, Eric, and Suddy. So why don't you guys come up to Southwick? You know, you guys drive back. 5 or 6 people in that Sprinter van. They'd think we were smuggling Mexicans, smuggling illegals.
Yeah. No, it was pretty classic. I got like probably 5 hours of sleep in the back there, but it was tough. It was a long night, just getting bumped around in the van, and then pulled up to NEPG like the sun's coming up.
Jeez.
Hell yeah, we made it.
Yeah, because I think I got there at probably 7:45, and I kind of forgot all about like what time you were gonna get in. I didn't even know you drove until I seen you morning of. And I was like, man, you look like shit. It looked rough.
I felt it, but honestly, I think it was good just to not get too much sleep or rest or much time to think, and just get right back on the bike. They kind of reminded me of like 6 days a lot, actually.
Yeah. Not your first rodeo was something like that. What did you think about going back to Wellston, Ohio? Has it always been pretty good to you?
Yeah. That's my 3rd little raccoon on the wall. Pretty sweet area.
Not bad.
I don't know about people around there.
Easy, brother. Hunter's listening. Hunter's listening.
He must be imported. I don't mind that guy.
You hear that shit? Oh, yeah, I see how it is.
How many times have you raced it? 3 wins. How many attempts?
It might be 3 for 3. I'm not for certain.
Can't tell him nothing.
No, Ohio's good to me. Georgia's good to me. I think it's the slick dirt, honestly. Both of them are kind of similar.
So coming back, going to Penton, keep the GNCC win streak rolling. Maybe another top American ISDE coming off into the end of summer break too.
Trying to make us some money, son.
That's right.
How difficult is it between swapping bikes back and forth? At National Enduros, you riding a 250?
Yep, 250X.
So do you notice a big difference, like riding the 450 all day on Saturday and then jumping on the 250? Like, is there any kind of learning curves, or was there any, I guess, soreness too going into it?
Yeah, no, I was definitely sore, but it was completely different conditions, just being slick, mud. You had to be so gentle on the throttle. Southwick, I was just wide open, so it was kind of good to hop on a different bike to like match the conditions. Like, if I was getting on maybe a similar bike, it would be tough, but I don't know. That 250 is just so dialed, pretty soft for the woods, and I love it.
Sweet. Yeah, that's doing the stuff for the team. Like, obviously, I was announcing MidEast, or else I would have liked to have been there. But I check in with the National Enduro results just as the day goes on. And I'm sitting there refreshing it to start the day, and like I see it, and I see Stu scan in. I'm like, where's everybody else at? And then it starts scanning in. I see you pop up, and it's 0.3 of a second between you and Stu at the first test. And I was like, here we go. It's going to be a day today.
Yeah. No, I knew it was on right then. Honestly, I saw Stu post about rain, well, we were driving to the race like overnight, and I was like, man, I got him covered. It's over for sure, man. Pack it in. And yeah, no, I honestly had a ton of confidence going into Sunday, just because I like the trail. It's really slick, and yeah, I've won there before. But after test one, I was like, I felt a bit tired. So if it were tied after that, I think I got him.
Yeah, yeah. And I could just picture you laid up in the back of the van like, hey, boys, you just get this van to the parking lot. We'll get our raccoon and go home. Stu says it's raining. That's all we need to know.
That's it.
How much back and forth has there been with you guys? Because obviously Stu came on the program, and that's when he made the declaration that he is the most well-rounded rider. Took the internet by storm. J-Law is stirring it up right now as we speak. This was like 2 months ago. Still going on. Still in the minds of everyone. I think a lot of people took to that comment. You were one of them, because talked to you right afterwards like, hey, can I come over next week? Got something to say. And so he came on and did the show. So has there been much talk between you two? And if you're not already at the point where you can confirm that you think you're the most well-rounded rider, what else do you need to see on the resume to go ahead and wear that crown?
Honestly, there hasn't been a whole lot. We've been just like busting each other's balls a little bit, but nothing like too serious. Honestly, everything's just come from everybody else coming up to the rig at the races, coming up,
Yeah.
just talking so much smack like on Stu. It's been great, honestly. And yeah, humbling him a little bit. And yeah, I don't even want to claim like most well-rounded myself. That's my ultimate goal. That's what I'm aiming for. But I just claiming I'm more versatile or well-rounded than Stu.
Yeah, there you go. Just keep it in the pits. But yeah, smart move there. But no, I mean, it's hard to argue, especially like I said, winning sprint enduros, winning national enduros, racing pro motocross, winning GNCCs. It's a pretty cool spot that you've put yourself in, and hard enduros. Forgot hard enduros as well. Like so many things that you've been able to do. We actually were playing the Terra Inferno Dominican footage before we started the show today, and you're out there ripping at that thing. So it's like another Swiss Army knife, can do everything. What discipline do you like the most from all of them? Like if you had to do one, I think we asked this when you were here, but get you riled up again. Which you had some more time to think about it.
Yeah,
since
Paul
then.
Alley asked the same question.
I know it's probably not GNCCs if I had to guess.
No. I if you just for enjoyment, a hard enduro bike setup, just to go out in the mountains and just play around is just ultimate freedom if you have the right spot too. But I can say the same for like a 450 just out in the sand pits or like hill climbs or wherever you can just go find jumps and free ride. Like that's my ultimate favorite thing to do.
Heck yeah.
So you said after the first test you knew you were pretty much good. What did you think about the first? I guess the second half of that first test was so slick. But what did you think about that first test? Because there's so many guys coming into the second, and they're like, "Dude, that was bullshit," because they were so mad how tight it was. Because we had you obviously weren't there. Saturday it was pretty good weather, real hot. It dried out. The club was talking about how good the track was, and then about 8:30, the sky just dropped. It just started pouring, and everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Another Ohio mutter. So how was that first test? Because there's a lot of guys listening right now, especially in the comments that I recognized from the race that had mentioned, "Man, this is terrible." How slick it was.
Man, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't the same for every row, and it was super slippery. Don't get me wrong, but to be able to like slide around and move around where you want on the trail and like have options, but also have the rut kind of like a slot to like always fall back to is just like is so fun. It's just ultimate enduro trail. So you can get going so fast, but then every corner has like a bit of a rut, like a shallow rut. So I was having a blast, but kind of midway through, I slammed my right foot on the foot peg. Like my foot was on the peg, but just against a tree, and I think broke like a middle toe on my right foot. And sitting there between the first test and the second test, everyone was just talking about it and stuff, and I was just sitting there, just man, I hope my toe is still there. I think it was just so numb, and yeah, my whole foot was just, it made me sick. But
Yeah, I was one of those people in the comments complaining about it because I wrecked in the first turn in front of everybody.
I heard that.
Wrecked in the first turn, and then I wrecked maybe half mile in on a downhill, leaning over the front of the bike, and the front end just gone. And I just roll down this hill, and I'm like, "Are you shitting me, dude? If this is how today is going to go, I should have just stayed at the house." But I thought this year it was super good, especially going through Test 6. I know me and you talked about it before. I really liked how they put a challenging section in. I heard some guys, which Test 6 is an A-only section, so it's usually not many people who aren't, experienced with that kind of stuff. It was nice seeing a pretty gnarly section, even though I think Tests 1 through 5 had their challenges, just maybe just because of the rain and how slick it was or whatever. But the hill climbs in 6 and just some of the technical spots, what did you think about that?
yeah, I think that's killer. Like that's true enduro trail right there, and yeah, I think it should be included in every Test 6 if it's like an A only section where all these riders are plenty capable. So I think it's cool to like be able to put your skills to the test, and yeah, just challenge yourself. Like I said, all of us are expert or pro riders, so we should be able to ride anything they really throw at us.
Expert. Did you hear him say I was an expert?
And then it's at the end of the day, they don't gotta worry about towing people out, getting people out of the woods.
Yeah, they don't care.
Get it
You're an
figured
expert.
out.
Push it, brother.
Hey, you're an expert.
I'm still curious what the Georgia's Test 6 is, or 7, I guess. Well, what is the Georgia one? Because 2 years in a row, AG hasn't been able to run a section because of weather.
Yeah,
I'm curious how that is. He keeps saying it's gnarly. He said it's good.
Man,
We'll never know.
That, there is a gnarly spot in there, but it's just so tight. AG just loves to make that thing melt you down in there. But yeah, I could go without the tight stuff, but the challenging stuff like we had this weekend was a blast. Like all the off cambers, the logs, uphills, plateaus, that was sick.
And just so you know, it was hills, like real hills.
Yeah.
They said on Test 6, hey, kind of watch what you do taking off. And I heard that they took a hill out of the very start of 6. But we went, you go straight down a downhill. And I know all these landowners. It's the funniest thing now sitting here talking about it. That was at my buddy my buddy Andrew's Uncle Shad's place. So you take off in his yard. I'm a liar. It ends up in his yard where the hill climb was, the big hill climb where you go down the road.
Yeah.
But you take off in one of their family members' yards. You immediately go straight down a hill, down to the bottom of a ravine, and then you go shooting straight back up the hill. And then there's a metal gas pipe running on the side of the trail. Did you ever notice it? It's like a natural gas pipe. It's like kind of snaking around. There's a couple spots that screw you if you hit it. But as soon as you got into the woods, gnarly downhill, 90, straight back up a hill, and I thought, holy shit, they weren't kidding. There's 12 of these things in here. So it was good.
Where was that on the follow cam footage, the little double step up into the ravine? What section was that in?
I want to say like 3 or 4 maybe. Brock was following me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So I saw your comment on there saying that you wish you could go back and double into that ravine. It looks like it'd be a fun little jump, but how tough is it to commit to stuff like that blind? Like these national enduros, you're not biking the track, you're just kind of seeing it and reading it. How often are you seeing lines like that and like, oh, dude, let's try to double this, see what happens?
Yeah, pretty often. Like I don't know if it's dumb or not, but it seems to be pretty efficient and quick. But I jump as much stuff as I can, just sometimes just for fun, or sometimes just like the ground's so rough, you take a jump, you could avoid 3 or 4 bumps and save a lot of time and energy. But there's a couple hairy moments. Like there was actually one. There was kind of like an on off out in the woods, and yeah, I jumped on and I went to go for the next one, and I don't know if I shifted down when I landed and didn't get like the lift on the second one. The nose kind of dropped over the ravine, and I was like, for a second there, I was like, man, should I jump through the bars right now? And then it just, I landed on the other side, nose down, and I saved it, and I was like, man, glad I didn't jump.
Dang. That's gnarly.
Yeah.
I guess it works out. You got big old number 1 on the side on your bike, so I guess it's saving some time in there somewhere.
Yeah. No, you kind of you got to pick and choose too. Like I try to look as far as ahead as I can to like plan for that, but I have a really good read on like the trail and how it's getting torn up too. You can tell what's coming up by how aggressive people are braking or how hard they roosted out of the turns. You'll see a lot of dirt piled up.
Yeah.
And I have gotten good at reading trail like that. And I think that's what the Baylors are really good at too. So anyone excels at enduros.
Did you ever end up finding that guy in the WR 450? Maybe in the
I don't know what
parking
on
lot?
some Yamaha. We're starting ahead of us, man. He was a local boy. He's Craig's buddy. He won't give up his name. But
I don't know his name. I just know he's a local guy.
I said, Craig, dude, your homie signed up in front of us. And then when you rev at him, he revs back and just stops.
Oh,
and I was
goodness.
like, I'm ready to fight this guy, Craig. Tell me his name.
Yeah, he's following me up to test 6 because he's that guy still taking off. Is he still up there? And he had just taken off. I don't know him actually. I just know he's a local guy.
Yeah, right.
But he's like, tell your buddy,
tell
your buddy, stay out of my damn way. He's trying to have a conversation, argue with me while I'm trying to pass him. I'm just trying to go.
Dude, what are you doing?
Grant about whooped my ass too. We're going up an uphill, and I heard him revving, but like it was kind of a tight area. Like if I went over to the left, I'd have to go back down the hill. I was like, Grant, I'm sorry. And I'm like, as fast as I can go. And as soon as I get to the top, I move over. He revs, turns around like the most aggressive way possible. And I know he's just like, fuck you, dude. Get out of the way.
Oh,
Grant, I'm sorry. You know, he's got his helmet off. Oh, man, you're fine. But when he had his helmet on, if you've ever had a Baylor behind you, you know what the sound is. It's just the most aggressive 450, I'm going to kill you rev ever. And I'm like, fuck. 'Cause I was 32. So behind me was Stu. Then it was Josh. Then BK, Grant. Like,
yeah.
I kept getting screwed, dude.
How do you think we felt, man?
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Especially when you got your buddy up there lead blocking.
Yeah, listen, I feel like I pulled over pretty good. I thought I was a pretty good sport about it when I could be. But I could see where some guys, even the old men that have like the cut down bars, and they're like, if you're faster than me, then just pass me. It's like, all right, brother. Straight through you. So I get it.
Got to do it sometimes.
Man, I know you've been on a time crunch, so I'll let you go. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Just got like one more quick question. Eric Geese, like the bird, has joined the chat on YouTube. I'm quoting this. This is directly what he said. He said that you suck at dirt bikes. He said you're not very good at riding, maybe not even an expert, he says. Ryan Sipes is the best all-around rider. Sorry. He's got moto wins and ISDE overall win.
You're paraphrasing a little bit.
No, that's what it says. I read it word for word. I promise. But to that point, when this well-rounded thing comes up, Ryan Sipes is a name that gets thrown in all the time. He kind of did the Do Everything program, and you started doing that as well. So, two-part question. One, has Ryan gotten involved in this spat between Stu calling himself the most well-rounded? You do what?
I actually have a charger here. Phone's dying quick.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw it glitching. I didn't know if it was my computer or your phone, but that's what happens when they run low. We kept you too long. I'm sorry.
I'll be right back.
All right. He's going to get a charger. Eric Geese says, thanks, Tyler. I just read what you said. That's what it says on here. I can't see it all that well. It's over here in the corner, but I believe that's pretty much what it said. Shout out Eric Geese like the bird. Toth froze up. He might be all the way dead. Oh, yeah, we got the spinning wheel. Dang it. I wanted to ask that last question. Maybe we'll get it plugged in. We'll get a wrap up on here real quick. Super cool to be able to talk to Toth. We've had some questions coming in. I'm trying to get them all in there. Paul Alley, he did have a good question. I kind of phrased it as it made sense in the conversation. I should have shouted Paul out on that. I think you ended up doing it afterwards, but I try to see them as they come in. But a lot of times, just steering the conversation and where we can fitting them in. But it's cool for Toth to take time out and talk, especially after what he did. I mean, it's crazy, and I think it got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I think it's funny too because he's been so busy. It's kind of a shell shock for him, I think, because it's like you ever hear the thing, same as you, that one unemployed friend on a Tuesday, like on a yacht somewhere. Like, how the hell are you doing it? I'll call him on a Tuesday. But what are you doing? I went to Harbor Freight. I just bought this welder, and I think I'm gonna, I got some angle iron. I think I'm gonna see if I can make something. You show up to his house. He's got this just absolutely gigantic, like, obstacle he's making or something to jump a bicycle on. Or I leave my Harley helmet over there and he gets an airbrush and puts no rig Craig on the back of it with a big circle and a line through it. But it is I think he was happy to be home because he could finally kind of hang out and do his own thing and ride his bicycle and ride his dirt bikes at the house. And
so did he go home between Snowshoe and Southwick, or he went from Snowshoe to Southwick to Ohio?
That was my confusion too at first, because the deal was he was supposed to get a flight back. So I didn't know how the vehicle situation was going. So he drove up from his van, drove up from Snowshoe to Connecticut and did his thing all week. And then had his van there and drove back. I don't know if Banjo was with him, flew up there, what the deal was. So he drove everything. Yeah. I don't know how great he got up there. I don't know if he flew up to Massachusetts. I don't know the situation. See, he asked me, he mentioned to me and Eric and Suddy about going up there and maybe helping Banjo drive the van, just to make sure everything goes well.
Yeah.
And me and Eric were like, well, we got to race Sunday too, and that's the last thing I need to do is go tired because, whatever. But then everything changed, and it kind of would have been gnarly anyway because there's gnarly storms coming in all night, Saturday night. So flying a small plane in the James A. Road Airport would have been kind of a mess.
Here, give him a call back. He just tried to call me. Yeah, that sounds like a logistical nightmare. Trying to make all that. And I was wondering, too, because I saw Banjo at Southwick, and I was wondering how Banjo was able to get back and forth to all the places. There we go. We got him back.
We're back.
Welcome back. We got a charger dialed in.
My bad.
Oh, no.
Wasn't sure.
No worries. I've probably taken up way more time than you intended for me to, so my apologies, and thanks for doing it.
No, you're good.
But yeah,
I think we're talking about Sipes there, but no, I think Sipes has me covered as far as the record books for now. I'm gonna try to hunt him down on that, get the ISD overall. I can't be the first like him, obviously, but do what I can, and then if I'm not bad at riding bikes, what's that make Eric there?
Damn.
All right, I got to admit, maybe Eric's comment didn't exactly say that. That's just how I interpreted it when he said it.
Oh, that sounds like something Eric would say, so I have to give him shit.
Yeah, very monotone. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Piece of shit. He's not as good as Sipes.
No, like the Sipes thing, he is a Swiss Army knife for real, and he does get thrown into all these conversations. That's why I was wondering if he caught any wind of the back and forth on the internet, and if he, like, the, you know what I mean, the picture of the Ninja Turtles walking the little Rat Master away, and they're like, I just wonder if he ever came and sat you guys down and said, listen, boys, you guys are arguing for the wrong reasons. I'm the guy. I didn't know if he had gotten involved in the conversations.
No, he's too humble, but I think he, like he said, he has it covered, but try to follow what he's done and do all the same events, hopefully.
Eric's texting me talking shit now too. He's got something to say, doesn't he?
So that was going to be my the second part of the question, and then we'll let you go. We got a couple weeks off, and then going racing at the Rattlesnake up in Pennsylvania, and then after that, it'll be a couple weeks and heading over to Italy for the ISDE, and obviously Ryan, first American to win the overall. You top finishing American last year. What's the thoughts going into the ISDE, and I guess what's the expectations? I know you mentioned before you want a top 5, top American again, but I mean, what's the mindset heading over into Italy, and especially like coming after last year finishing top American, top 10 overall?
Yeah, I really want to get some test wins and just be competitive like with the top guys over there, and with Josep and Steve and Verona and all those guys, and just like I said, be competitive, consistent, and try to be top 5 by the end of the week. Top American would be awesome.
Heck yeah. Oh, I don't know if we got muted. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We're running a loose program. I think now my computer's dying. But anyway, thank you so much for taking the time out and chatting with us, man. Like I said, I know it was a hell of a week and getting back to it, but now you got a few weeks off before we have to go racing again. So thanks a ton for coming on and chatting with us. Huge congratulations, taking the win at Snowshoe, taking the win at National Enduro, and going out there and putting on a show out at Southwick, man. So good luck this summer. We'll see you over in Italy, and once again, thanks for the time.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Talk to you later on.
We'll see you soon.
See ya. So that was Josh Toth. Oh, wait. What did I do here? Here we go. All right. Josh Toth joining us. Is that battery dead? Yeah, it is. Yeah, once the I thought I had plugged in over here.
This thing's dead?
Once it starts lagging like that, I found out that means the computer's about to die.
I don't really need it anyway.
There we go. Yeah, super cool of Toth to come on and join us. I know you're good buddies with him, and he's you're the least talkative when Toth's on the program.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I screwed up by talking to him earlier about, like, asking him questions about stuff. I was like, maybe I should ask all these questions whenever everyone else would hear the answers too, but fair enough, yeah. Now Eric's sitting there talking shit to me. He said you can't even get a top 5 in Open A this weekend. Now you got to talk shit. It's like, brother, I got 6th. All right,
shouldn't have done it.
Get off me.
Shouldn't have done it.
I know.
He shouldn't have said what he said. All I did was read it.
Hey, I wanted to mention too. I had a lot of guys hit me up because my sister and my niece were at the race, obviously.
Oh.
And they had every year. It's always hot as shit at the Little Raccoon.
Yeah.
So they take all these bottles of water, and they're going to the gas stops. They're going to each test that they can see me at, and they have this big sign that says free water. You know, stop if you need some. And then they decided to put 511 Big Rig Craig on it, Oberholzer. So then all these people were coming up to me after the race and messaging me on Instagram and stuff like, hey, man, thanks for all that water you gave us. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, my sister put my name on the water. So I have zero credibility in that. I bought none of you guys water. My sister did. So, but we appreciate it. I thought it was funny as hell. But everyone thought it was Craig Oberholzer sponsored waters in between tests.
Dang.
Oh, I'm tired too.
Now the sheriffs know whose door to come knocking on for all the littering going on out there.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
By
God.
It's got your name and number on it, bud. It's hard to argue that you didn't throw all them water bottles on the ground.
Oh, yeah. A big Eric cycle shop right in front of me. Every time I go by, every time I catch him, he'd throw hands up and yell at me and rev at me.
Yeah.
But he messaged me, too, and he's like, dude, thank you for the water. So I was like, it wasn't me, but I appreciate you. I appreciate the appreciation, you know.
See, look, doing the right thing, man. Keeping them hydrated. Speaking of that, we didn't get a chance to check in with our comments. We talked about Zach Tussle, Raymond James Financial, TussleInvestments.com. He helps us look to the future with the comments and see what people are saying. And you mentioned Eric Barlow with Eric Cycle Sales. He gave us $20 to start this thing off. So big thank you to Eric, man. Really appreciate that. It's still, once again, didn't know that was possible till Underfoot came around. Moto Fro's been contributing. Eric has contributed before. A lot of people have. So that means a lot, man. Really appreciate it. He said, here's a few bucks to buy some more waters to restock Big Rig's Water Shack out there. that you got going on, and energy drinks to keep Toth awake. So much appreciated, Eric, man. Thank you. Chris Couch, 2 weeks for sure. No idea what that's about, but I agree. 2 weeks. Toth winning NEPG was not on my bingo card. Should have been. Now him and Stu are 2 apiece. They are all tied up heading into the rattlesnake of who is going to get that championship. Chris Couch, seeing him Sunday morning, he really did not look tired. You said he looked rough.
Whenever I talked to him, he looked like shit.
Yeah. He had to just woke up, get the juices.
He might have had a little
bit.
smile going, walking around for the crowd, but I see him, he looked like hell.
I can't imagine doing that. I'm useless when I don't get enough sleep. I can't imagine going to race and winning a race.
Yeah, absolutely not. If I don't get decent sleep, I'm such a bitch.
Yeah. JJ Goldick, how's a little raccoon compared to other NEPGs technically and terrain-wise? Sorry, JJ. That came in before I asked if there was any questions, so I honestly did not see that question, or else I would have asked. But it sounds like he liked the terrain when you guys were talking about the last couple sections, the challenging section in Test 6.
Yeah, and I would definitely say the Little Raccoon is definitely one of the slicker tracks, especially whenever it's muddy. But Ohio mud's way different, which JJ's from Ohio. He's from the Hillsborough area. So it is very different, just the same kind of mud as Penton. It kind of reminds me of just super snotty. But
gotcha.
I think it's good. I like it. I think it's very similar to I actually thought it was pretty similar to the Missouri race, like just kind of the way the dirt was.
Oh, really?
There was some like moon rock and stuff that tore up tires in Missouri, but I don't know. I think they're all pretty track wise. They're all pretty similar.
Sweet. I want to go race National Enduro. Maybe I can make it to Rattlesnake. Did Rattlesnake sign-ups already happen?
Yeah, I got.
Of course they did.
Well, you can go ahead and still go. You can go to Vintage Days with me, and then we can leave Saturday at noon.
Oh,
and
that's
go race.
that one. I'm not racing row 152.
Okay, then
maybe I'll sign up for Pro 1 and get an assigned row.
You could run Pro 2. You could. I'm on row 21.
Hey. Maybe that's the move.
I think it's 21.
I don't think I'd win my C-Class AMA appeal if I did that, though.
Yeah, but you hard be revving the whole time.
Logan Carell says, do GNCC pros get drug tested for PEDs? No, they don't. But there is a stipulation in the rulebook they can get tested for IV hydration. So, a little ironic, but no.
Which is ridiculous.
Which part?
Getting
IV
tested
hydration
to make,
or not getting tested?
Getting tested for IV hydration.
Yeah. Of all the things.
Yeah.
Just don't be hydrated, and you should be fine. Let's see. These are all. JW says, shout out to Josh, dude rips. I agree. Daniel Bird says, sorry I'm late. Catch the first hour on the podcast. Toth and Davis are changing the game. They absolutely are. Toth now with 2 overall wins from XC2. Grant Davis with 4 overall wins from XC2. And Nick DeFeo with 1 overall win from XC2. Joe Thomas says, absolutely no other place on the interweb that you will hear a candid interview with Josh. You guys are hands down the best. Please keep it up. Appreciate you, Joe Thomas. That means a lot. Appreciate it. The main thing that I try to do, especially when we get guys on, and I'm really glad that we've been having guests on here lately. I think it makes a big difference. I did that from the beginning, and then it's hard lining up schedules. It's hard getting people after race weekends. There's a lot going on. So it's hard to get it there. But now that we do the show live on camera, I think, one, it brings another element to it to, like, see their face, get them on FaceTime, be able to have that face-to-face. Because my goal for interviews is I hate the question-answer. I try to make it a conversation and kind of get some more stuff out of them and set it up better. So now I think doing it live on camera gives a little bit more better feedback back and forth with riders, but then it also gives a dedicated time. Like, hey, 7-ish to 9-ish, got to be ready.
Yeah.
Because before I would record everything and it'd be all through parts of the day. And so it's like this person's free in the morning, this person's free in the afternoon. But now it's like, hey, we do the show live. These are our times. And so it is really cool. So I appreciate a comment like that because try and make it better and try and do everything we can. Craig Oberholzer commented on here. Eric Geese said some really rude things about Josh Toth. We went over that with Toth on here. Swamp Picker says hello from Baton Rouge. What's up, dude?
Hello, Swamp Picker.
I'm going to send my love calling Baton Rouge.
Say Swamp Picker
Won't you
5
put me
times
on the
real
line?
fast.
Got to talk to the girl just one more time. You know what that song's called?
I have no idea.
Baton Rouge. Swamp Picker. Moto Fro says we got to get these cameras and computers some 5-hour energy. All exhausted. That's absolutely right. I don't know what it is, dude. They're all plugged in. I even brought up the big charger.
Hey, there I am. Check me out.
Got your camera back on. Even brought up the big charger. Had the computer plugged in. It still goes flat on us. I don't get it. See, that's why when people give $20 in the chat, it's going towards getting this stuff up. Eric's texting me now. I can't believe you, bro. Eric, I think you're good enough buddies with him. He knows it was a joke. All right, I think we got the point across. Eric did not actually say those mean and cruel, hurtful things about Josh Toth.
Yeah, just because you won this weekend doesn't mean you get like the sensitive card.
He just said that
cry victim.
He is nowhere close to and will never be as good as Ryan Sipes. That's all Eric said.
Which was kind of a dick move. I don't know.
That was ruder than what I said when you think about it.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up thing to say. Guy's coming off an awesome week, and Eric just has to say, hey, you'll never be as good as your boss. So.
Yeah, what a prick, dude. What a piece of shit. Air Geese, everybody. The, was that the Pacific Northwest? Northwest?
Yeah, the PNW.
Yeah.
Washington's finest.
Yeah.
Part of the Jason Range transplant crew. Did a little time in Texas. Then he smartened up, came to North Carolina.
Yeah, he missed it. Missed his buddies. Roasted him online. Ugly.
He sent me a bunch of laughing faces. He knows we're just picking on him. No, it's funny. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't have said it to Toth like I did, but I figured they're good enough buddies.
Yeah.
To get the point.
Yeah,
but that's going to catch us up with our comments. As always, if you're shopping on RMATVMC, which I know you are, because I am. You are. Everyone is. Where else do you get parts from?
I got my cart full right now.
I just actually used my own link and paid for all the stuff for the pit bikes. Got a little kickback. But yeah, if you are shopping on RockyMountainATVMC.com, I just asked you use our link in the description of this video, in the description of every YouTube video that we have, in the link in our bio on Instagram. Basically anywhere, I think even I'm putting it on the podcast now too. So anywhere that you listen to OTP, you can click that link, shop on it. It doesn't increase prices for you, doesn't cost you any money. It does give us a small commission of your total amount that you order. So it's a way to support the show by doing what you're already doing yourself, and shopping on RMATVMC.com. So they're helping us out with the show, and that is how you can help us out with the show. So maybe one day we can get a battery charger that works.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Show.
Hook us up.
And I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Might be it. I don't know. What else we got?
Buy Yamahas. Rev your heart.
Yep. Blue Crew. There is... Oh, Blue Crew Academy. Blue Crew Academy is going to be going on. I did want to tell everybody about that. I do believe that I will probably be there. So if you're going to be at the Blue Crew Academy, you might even run into old T-Shep out there and see what we got. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up so I can give you the correct information here. The Blue Crew University, it used to happen at the Snowshoe GNCC, and for whatever reason, they end up having to change it. So this year, it'll be happening on the property of Sunday Creek Raceway. That is in Millfield, Ohio. That is the location of the John Penton GNCC. This year, it will be July 11th through 13th. So next weekend.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep. So you can come ride at the John Penton property. It's a full weekend of all sorts of instruction. There's a $50 deposit. I'll put the link on our story. There's a $50 deposit, but you get that back in the form of a gift card. So they just do it to make sure, hey, you're serious about it. At the end of the day, it's free. If you have a Yamaha, early registration is open right now. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. It's open for everyone right now. You can sign up to go. There are limited spots. Friday, they'll do a big welcome dinner with everyone there. Saturday, full day of instruction, lunch, dinner, and games. Sunday, instruction in the morning, and then you'll have a lunch before heading on to your own way. On the motorcycle side of things, Randy Hawkins will be there. Caleb Russell will be there. Liam Draper will be there. Jason Raines will be there. Emily Raines will be there. Evan Smith will be there. And then on the quads, it's pretty much everyone. Johnny Gallagher, Walker Fowler, Josh Merritt, Wyatt Wilkin, John Glauda, Jessica Elioff, Kenny Schick, Grayson Eller.
Kenny what?
Schick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Homie.
But, yeah, check it out. Sunday Creek Raceway. Like I said, my plan is to get there. I got a lot of stuff going on, but that's the plan, to be there. If I'm not there, you should be there, because how else do you get an opportunity to hang out with a bunch of off-road legends, get some instruction, hear some stories, do some bench racing, and on a pretty cool legendary GNCC property.
Hell yeah. Virgin soil.
Check them out. Craig, we've reached the time of the year where it is summer break. You know what races are going on this weekend? There's not. Next weekend, Blue Crew University. You know where they're racing at that weekend? Nowhere.
Off the top of my head.
Nowhere.
It's time to hang out.
There's not much going on. So
kick your feet up, get on Lake Norman.
The fate of On the Pipe podcast over the next couple weeks is going to be questionable. I got a lot of stuff going on. Not going to bore anybody with it, but there's also not a lot of racing going on. So the plan going forward is we're going to try to do some full-length episodes, get some people in here, you know what I mean, talk to some people, do some in-depth interviews, which I'm sure you'll join me on some of those. Big Tom, more than welcome to join on some of those as well. So look for those intermittently. I don't think there'll be an OTP Tuesday, next Tuesday, because there's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
When we start gearing back and coming back from summer break, the plan right now is that we'll be at ISDE. And so we'll have lots of coverage from ISDE. We'll do a show after the Rattlesnake. I think that'll be a good time to do it. We got TKO in there. Might do some stuff there. So the events that are happening over the summer, we'll come on. We'll pop on. We'll do some stuff. We'll line up some stuff. Bjorn Hamrick is going to be one of them. With a new property, with everything going on, rainstorms and stuff this past weekend. We didn't get to do the podcast with, and me being sick as a dog, with Bjorn and Ricky Towery, but hopefully that'll be coming up. But maybe we'll get some other riders on here. Dig up Cody Webb. We've been wanting to talk with him for a while about what he's doing on that Yamaha. So be a little bit inconsistent over the summer break just because, like I said, there's not a whole lot to cover. If something big happens, we'll jump on here and we'll do something. But other than that, I think we're going to enjoy a little bit of summer break as well. Spend some time with some friends and families. Recommend you guys all do the same as well. Craig, what you got? What you got for summer plans? What you got going on? Any big stuff going on? You coming to Italy? What's up?
It's first I've heard about it. If I got find a place to crash, try to ride some dirt bikes, try to stay comfy, race some national enduros, ride some moto, work a little bit, fly a little bit of airplanes.
We got a.
What you got going on, bud?
I'm just looking for something. We got OTP accommodations. If you can get to Italy, we got a place to be.
Yeah?
Yep.
Shit. Son.
I wouldn't fly
pizza straight from the
Ooh, the source, dude.
The
source.
That shit come in squares over there.
Does it?
Does it? That's what I'm asking.
That's illegal.
No.
I think if you give real Italian square pizza, you better duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah.
I think that's a no-no.
1940s Auschwitz, straight to jail.
Mindy says, Craig, come to Italy. Mindy's coming. Figure it out. We got time.
When is ISD?
It is August. I don't know. 18th, I think. I want to say August 18th, or when we're going.
Are you going for 2 weeks then? Are you going the week before?
So ISDE, I put it on here as the 23rd, which is a Saturday. And that's the beginning week. Okay, so it's the race is the 25th through the 30th. So we'll probably go over like Friday or Saturday before and leave Sunday, Monday after. Anyway, maybe. Think about it. See what we got. We got some comments coming in. Rode National Enduro in Texas I rode a National Enduro in Texas, was 102 hot. That does sound hot. 102 is hot for an Enduro.
Hot as shit.
Milk Run Enduro, Cutler, Ohio this weekend. Duh, Craig, you didn't know that? It's in Ohio.
Aces Enduro. I'm actually surprised that the Little Raccoon wasn't like an Aces race. Like you know how you can go to sometimes you can go to like a national event and it's like local affiliated. I was thinking about that this weekend.
Like
I didn't know if it was like a co-sanctioned Aces race, but I guess it's not. Because the years that it's not, they race it every year.
Yeah.
But the years that it's not a national, it's an Aces race.
Huh.
Kind of surprised.
Motorfro says, thank you for the season so far. Show's been consistent and awesome. Big Rig Craig and Big Tom probably keep the ship sailing forward. Yeah. Appreciate y'all boys this year. Tom couldn't be here tonight. He was committed for yesterday when we had to bounce it around to today. He couldn't be here, so shout out Big Tom and you guys for both helping out. It does help keep me consistent. There's times where I don't want to do it, and you guys make me do it. So, but then I'm always happy we did it. So,
yeah,
this has been the most consistent year of OTP so far.
Yeah, successful too. Look, it's great sponsors helping out, and
shout
all
out
the people we've had in, homies.
Oh yeah, shout out Zach Tussle. Shout out DPG, where you can ride at this Friday. Gyron says, ask Toast, what did he think about Jet and Tomac and all them ride? Was he impressed? That was about an hour too late.
We'll shoot him a text. Maybe we'll talk about it at the show after Rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
So cool. We'll get some cool stuff lined up. We'll get some people on. We'll talk to them. There's enough people in this area. We've still been supposed to do one at the live at the beta shop.
Are you?
Yeah, because right down the road. With old Stranger Danger. Maybe we'll see when we can get him and Jack together.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Get the homies in.
Live from the factory race shop.
Are we going to go ride, or what's the deal? Are you going to ride Friday?
I'm thinking about it. I should.
I work till 6.
Oh, really? Dang it.
Off Saturday and Sunday, though.
Friday is 4th of July.
Yeah.
You got to work on the 4th of July?
Dude.
Do you get holiday pay?
I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to bank a day so I get another day off. It's my last job, so it doesn't matter. I know I said that earlier. Like I said that like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But I bought a pickup truck, and I want to pay myself back. So there's a job 40 minutes from the house.
Shout out Lane Michael.
Shout out Lane Michael. So I just want to pay myself back for the truck I bought, and I'm going to do this and then fly in the evenings. But since it's been so hot, a couple power plants had like broke down. We had to push the job out. So they're like, all right, guys, well, since it's not your fault anyway, get fucked. We're working 4th of July. And we're working Saturday. And then they came today and said, we're not working Saturday. But they will work 4th of July.
Dang it.
Working Friday.
I might go try to ride at old DPG.
I would love to.
It's going to be hot.
I want to ride that 250FX.
I got it.
Eric Geese Like the Bird said I can borrow his too. But after
we do our own Yamaha Blue Crew shootout.
After our exchange, is that Dimmers Friday? Yes, sir. I just said DPG compound. Or dog compound. That's my bad.
Well, sweet. I think we're getting a little bit off the rails, so I think that's going to do it for the day. Craig, any parting words as we head into the summer break? Do you want to tease one big silly season signing? No, we can't.
I don't know what you do it. I don't want to be in charge of that.
I did get confirmation on 2. But
is it someone going green?
Now's not time and place. We had a whole good show. We talked to Toth. We had this whole big show. We're going to save that in the pits and the depth of summer when there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll just pop on here and
just
tell
like
you where everyone's going.
Just like Kawasaki 2-stroke. You guys can wait.
Yep. You'll see it when you see it.
You'll see it when you see it.
We'll do like Triumph and how Triumph just like posted little parts of the bike all at different times. And then all of a sudden it was like, bam, here it is.
Dude, it's...
one thing worth talking about, Sherco USA has a new owner. So Sherco, obviously a big company in France. Sherco USA is the importer. So they're the ones that were over all of the American stuff, getting the bikes here, getting the race team sorted, all that kind of stuff. And all the issues that have been going around with that. We've seen everyone that has gone to Sherco leave Sherco. And I don't think any of them were on good terms. And so now Brian Cram, he did something with marketing stuff with Sherco before. I don't want to talk for anybody. I don't want to get sued. It allegedly appeared to the public as it was so bad that even he left. And now back on board as senior vice president of Sherco USA.
Good for him.
Yeah, Brian's super cool, dude. I've talked with him a good bit, just online and like at TKO and places where I see him. Super good, dude.
Yeah.
He's kind of the guy that like spearheaded the GNCC efforts both times with the Baylors and with Strang. Personally, I don't know anybody that's had anything bad to say about him. So I think that's really cool that he's in that role as senior vice president. Be interesting to see where Sherco goes. It seems like a lot of the issues that Sherco has seen maybe could have been allegedly from whoever was running the whole thing, the owner. I've heard rumors of it being shopped around for a while now. It does seem like that transition has happened. So Sherco, from everyone that I've talked to, like, say they're good bikes, enjoy the bikes. It's just been a problem with the business side of things.
Where are they based at in
Texas.
the United States? Texas. Well,
Yep.
Better in California.
They're in Texas. They got their warehouse and all their operations are there. There was actually a rider that was so disgruntled that they drove to Texas to wait in the parking lot to talk to the owner and figure out what was going on. So, and it kind of sucks because, like I said, there's good people over there. They're good bikes. And it's kind of a shame to like let something like that ruin the reputation of a brand. So hopefully this is a light in the side of things and gonna be good.
You see a lot of Enduro GP guys race them too. Like how we talked about, there's not a whole lot of Jap bikes. You don't see as many.
Yeah.
But you see a whole lot of Beta, KTM, Husky Gas, and Shercos, some Rajus. Just a little bit different over there.
Yeah.
TMs, it's just kind of weird, you know. I've heard they're great bikes, like we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see, just like whenever Josep and who else came over a couple years ago? He was on a Beta.
Steve Holcomb.
He came over, and everyone was like, maybe his Beta has less problems than the ones that in the past had had. You know what I mean? He came over, and it was like a kind of a different machine. Like he had it set up a certain way.
And everyone here was told, don't
touch it.
Don't ride it.
Because that's not y'all's.
Look at
that
it.
is a foreign Beta. It's different.
Yeah.
So maybe with the new ownership, maybe a little bit better representation for Sherco and, you know, help them out in the long run.
Yeah. And like I said, it's good people. It seems like a good brand. But, yeah, hopefully that this does turn over a new leaf and we see those situations get sorted back out.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like, the people who run the companies are what sells. Just like whenever we went down, I met some good guys at Yamaha whenever you guys got your 110. Super great guys. I liked everyone I met. Like, just the people I did get to meet. You never would have thought you'd meet. There's a bunch of marketing people. The VP spoke with. Yeah. And it's like the coolest people in the world.
Office, like,
and they're
hey,
just
here's
sitting there,
the VP of Yamaha.
and I say this like we were just sitting there bullshitting.
Yeah.
And it was almost like we were like just sitting out by the truck, just leaning up, just bullshitting.
Yeah,
and I was like,
talking about retro bikes and retro Yamaha builds.
Yeah, and that's the kind of people, you know, I've been around, you know, other manufacturers, other like race teams, how people act, you know, even at GNCCs. Like, I don't always agree with some of the tactics and how some people just act.
Yeah.
You know, and how they treat others. Not saying I'm an angel by no means, but just the guys I met at Yamaha, cool as hell.
Yeah.
Makes me want to have a Yamaha, want to buy a Yamaha, want to spend money with Yamaha. So hopefully going that way, Sherco has similar relationships. That's what helps sell bikes. I never really noticed, you know, being an outsider before racing as much, working for KTM, being on the podcast, you know, you never think who the people are behind the marketing and everything. That's what sells. Like the people you meet and the relationships you build, that is 100% it.
Oh, for sure. Like the Yamaha guys, like every bike I had ever bought myself was a Yamaha.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of had a brand allegiance to them just based off of their machines. And then like doing the press events and getting to know them.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like I want to be a part of this. And same thing like you mentioned, like going down there and talking to all those guys and just the company as a whole, and everywhere you look, Yamaha's supporting something. So it's like it's cool to see a group of good people, and I mean, to your point, that can affect the brand representation as a whole.
Yeah.
Like you could go to this Blue Crew University at the John Penton, meet these guys, hang out with all these guys, and see what Yamaha is doing, like the grassroots efforts to kind of grow the sport. And I mean, if that didn't push you over the edge from the actual machines, then like just being around that would do that. So it's like, it's kind of like you said, people make the company. I don't know who was running Sherco. I know his name. I never met him. I never dealt with him. But I talked to a lot of riders that came and went, and I don't know. It just seems like
Not
there was a
great.
breakdown somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing like Beta. Like I would talk directly to the owner of Beta USA, and all good people, all great people, like super cool people to work with. But it's like once you start getting to that point, like that's they're representing the manufacturer overseas, just like Yamaha is, just like Beta was, just like all those guys is. So it's like when you have a bike that is good, or have a brand that has, like you said, a lot of presence overseas, and then just for whatever reason stuff isn't going right here.
Yeah.
Then it kind of shows like where that could be. So maybe, or hopefully, that this will turn everything around, and we'll see a whole new chapter of the blue and highlighter yellow bikes.
Yeah, it took me back to being a kid, like when we pulled into Atlanta and there was a Yamaha Sprinter out there, or a Transit.
Yeah.
It took me back to when I was like 8 on a YZ85, little fat thing and short on a YZ85. And I was always dreamed of seeing an Ampro Yamaha box truck pull into the house and have a YZ85 in it.
Yeah.
I pulled in. It was almost like a little bit of deja vu because I was like, dude, this is freaking sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think just the marketing and the rider or the bike representation is huge. And so hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah. Hope so.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us for OTP Tuesday on a Wednesday. Craig, thanks for coming by and chatting with us. We'll keep you up to date on schedules and stuff going forward and what to be on the lookout for. And yeah, we'll see you when we see you. Thank everyone for tuning in.
See ya.